Kingdom Hearts is inherently a character-driven series, and though destiny may set the stage, pure human desire is what put them all on their path. Sora is a key example of this and isn't afraid to show it at all. He wasn't chosen. He was an afterthought of it all. That destiny, it's been curated by Sora, and through his good intentions, he's made himself the nexus of the Kingdom Hearts universe. He is connected to a very vast majority of the main cast, but he's made himself at home through it all. But some weren't that lucky.
No one would miss me. That's not true. I would.
Enter Roxas, a reactive protagonist who didn't want anything to happen to him. He was given a life that he did not ask for, a name twisted by another's and a sigil that hung on to him, a story defined in manipulation, a story defined in discovery, whether good or harrowing. But we know his story. We know how it ends. But what if in the one singular moment he had control, he could make it so that he had the option? Roxas faces the altar, laying eyes on his other. But finally, through it all, he had a decision. Would he wake him up or leave him behind? Roxas said himself that this could have been the other way around. So what if it was? What if Roxas chose himself? What if Roxas didn't wake up Sora? Roxas stares at the body of his other, path laid right out in front of him. Everything gathered into this one moment. But something felt different. For once in his life, he felt that he had the decision, and at this very moment, there's nothing holding him back. He turns around and faces the exit of the room. He grabs his keyblade and shatters the door. Roxas feels the weight of this decision, but doesn't turn back. And then, he speaks aloud into the room. Diz, I'm not a tool. I'm free. I'm sorry, Axel. Namine. And by then, he's made up his mind. Roxas then follows the light to the old mansion hallway, giving sight to the motionless Donald and Goofy. He gives them a smile as he's moving on, but leaves them behind just the same. He goes through the levels of the mansion, seeing the nobodies have been slain from every room. The mansion was already abandoned, but somehow, it seemed more void of life than ever. Roxas finally approaches the gate. But now, he sees that his once called home is now falling apart, right in front of his eyes. The once beautiful trees, a whole forest, now reduced to pixels. A bittersweet feeling reaches Roxas. I have nothing to come back to, do I? I guess it's the fate of a nobody. But then the words of Diz come to mind. Roxas thinks, maybe a fate like this isn't so bad. The chains of destiny would no longer bind him. This was his choice, to fade in the darkness, to lay waste in this digital prison forever.
You're gonna lose it all!
A familiar war cry hits your ears, casting a corridor through the digital and the real world. Roxas looks behind him in distress, confusion yet to settle in. Then he sees the hooded figure. What he had heard was almost indifferent to what he had saw. In his mind, he had heard a voice, the emotional cries of a young man. But what he had saw was no young man. He'd seen him before. You're the guy with Namine. He then clutched his sword, immense power stalking closer and closer to him. Then, he spoke. Why haven't you rejoined with Sora? Surely a nobody doesn't think he has an option, does he? He picks up Roxas by his collar, completely furious at his selfishness. But even in this grim situation, Roxas smirks. I don't need your approval to live. In fact, I'd say you need me more than ever. The hooded figure, though no expression, was furious. He threw him through the portal, traveling through the dark corridor. If you truly think that life is yours, then hang on to it as if it was. Don't let go. Streaming through the darkness, Roxas falls unconscious. Roxas wakes up in a familiar pale room, confused on what just happened. In front of him was Namine. Namine, I thought they took you! She looks solemnly sad, but happy to see him. Roxas, so this is what you chose? Roxas stares at her. You make it seem like I wasn't going to choose myself. Am I really just destined for one purpose? To join with Sora? Namine looks away. It feels like that, doesn't it? That when destiny was written, they didn't include us? But I'd like to believe that there's more for us. A lot more. Roxas feels the weight on Namine's heart. He steps forward. Namine, At that moment, a dark corridor appears in the room. The cloaked man now standing in their presence once again. Roxas, there's someone who needs you right now. That body doesn't belong to you. How could you stand by and let that happen? Anger reaches Roxas's face, seething as he was being treated like a pawn. How could you say it's not mine? I lived and cried just like anybody else would. I have a heart. But a denizen of the dark like you wouldn't know a thing. I wouldn't know a thing, huh? I've lived through a lot more than you think I have. He slowly removed his hood. But I've devoted my life to save my friend, even if it cost me my body. Roxas's eyes widen. He recollects a whole battle, one he thought he had forgotten. A battle for that same independence, and a different reason. You're Riku. He cuts him off. Not anymore. It's Ansem. I did what I had to do. I became what we needed, who we needed. We all have our roles to play, Roxas. And I'm sorry, but your role is no longer needed.
There's no way!
Namine shields Roxas from Riku. Riku, do you think this is what Sora would have wanted?
Riku!
His eyes shudder at the prospect. He'll be alive to decide that. But even so, what choice do we have? Just like Diz said,
he holds half of Sora's power within him. In the end, he'll have to give it back.
no matter what, in the end, he's gonna have to give it all back. You're only prolonging something that isn't supposed to happen. Roxas pushes Namine aside. Don't worry, I got this. Riku, I can feel what Sora feels right now. He's not in distress. He sleeps, waiting for his time. He's patient. Namine also knows better than anyone how Sora feels right now. And I think I'll be able to save Sora, so both of us can live, coexist. I'll find out whatever it takes. And if I can't find out, then I'll leave it all to you. Riku. Roxas, I really want to believe you, but there's way too much on the line. We need someone who can go about the realm of light and defeat Organization 13. And I can do that! I've been in their ranks for about a year. I can do these things. Riku's eyes widen, surprised about his determination. Look, even if Sora does wake up at this very moment, he still has to get ready. I'm already there, and I can do this. And while I save everyone else, I'll save him and myself too. I know I'm spitting on your mission too, but can you trust me? Riku's conflicting thoughts flood in. The risk of losing his friend, yet the responsibility of being the protector. Namine approaches the conflicted Riku, with a smile on her face, rather. Riku, let's leave it to Roxas. We'll have Sora back. If anybody knows, it says nobody. Riku looks back at Roxas. Okay, we'll try your way. I know it's what Sora would want here, but it's not gonna be easy. Are you ready, Roxas?